We've reached a remarkable milestone, folks. This is the 19th episode of Proofless. I'm your host, Anna Berger, and I am profoundly touched by the extraordinary support you, our listeners, have given us. Your heartfelt emails, your thought-provoking posts on social media, and the dynamic discussions on our website are the driving force behind this podcast. You inspire us to keep exploring the mysteries that haunt families, challenge investigators, and demand resolution. Your engagement reminds us why we do this, to amplify the stories of those who've been silenced and to keep the pursuit of truth alive. Thank you for being part of this journey as we delve into the cases that refuse to rest. Today, we're diving into one of the most gripping and enduring unsolved mysteries of our time. The 2005 disappearance of Natalee Holloway, an 18-year-old American who vanished during a high school graduation trip to Aruba, leaving behind a tangled web of suspects, conflicting narratives, and a family's relentless fight for justice. This is a story of a young woman with limitless potential, a tropical paradise that turned sinister, and a case that, despite a confession, remains proofless due to the absence of a body and lingering questions about the full truth. So, settle in for an in-depth exploration of a mystery that continues to captivate, confound, and compel us to seek answers. Let's set the scene. It's May 2005 in Mountain Brook, Alabama, a prosperous suburb of Birmingham, Alabama, where tree-lined streets, top-rated schools, and a strong sense of community define daily life. Mountain Brook, often called the Tiny Kingdom, is a place where families know each other, children grow up together, and traditions like high school football and church gatherings bind the town. Natalee Ann Holloway is an 18-year-old senior at Mountain Brook High School, a shining star with a radiant smile and a future brimming with promise. Born on October 21st, 1986, to Beth and Dave Holloway, Natalee is the eldest of two children, and with a younger brother, Matt, who's 15 at the time. She's a straight-A student, a member of the National Honor Society, and a standout performer with the Dorians, the school's prestigious dance team. With her blonde hair, blue eyes, and warm, infectious personality, Natalee is a natural leader, kind, driven, and deeply involved in her community. She volunteers at her church, tutors younger students, and excels in academics, earning a full scholarship to the University of Alabama, where she plans to pursue a pre-med track with dreams of becoming a pediatrician. Natalee's upbringing reflects the values of her family and town. Beth, a special education teacher, and Dave, a businessman, divorced in 1993, but co-parented Natalee and Matt with care, maintaining a united front. Natalee grew up in a home filled with love, music, and dance. She started ballet at age 5 and performed in recitals that drew crowds of proud neighbors. Her high school years were marked by achievements. She was a cheerleader, a debate team member, and a volunteer at a local children's hospital. Friends describe her as the glue of their group, always organizing outings and lifting spirits. As graduation approached, Natalee was excited but grounded, planning her college dorm setup and talking about her future with her best friend, Claire, who'd later say, "Natalee had this energy. You just knew she was going somewhere big." To celebrate her graduation, Natalee joined 124 classmates and 7 adult chaperones on a 5-day trip to Aruba, a Caribbean island known for its turquoise waters, white sand beaches, and vibrant nightlife. The trip, organized by an informal student-parent group rather than the school, was a rite of passage for Mountain Brook seniors, a chance to revel in their accomplishments before college. The group departs on May 26, 2005, landing in Aruba and checking into the Holiday Inn Sunspree Resort in Palm Beach, a lively area dotted with hotels, casinos, and restaurants. Aruba, a Dutch territory 15 miles off Venezuela's coast, markets itself as one happy island, drawing American tourists with its warm weather and relaxed vibe. The students spend their days soaking up the sun, swimming, snorkeling, and exploring Orangestad's colorful markets. By night, they flock to bars and clubs, taking advantage of Aruba's legal drinking age of 19, which allows American teens to drink legally. Natalee, while enjoying the freedom, remains responsible, checking in with chaperones via text and staying close to her friends. She's seen laughing on Eagle Beach, snapping photos with classmates, and bargaining for souvenirs. Her roommate Claire later recalls Natalee's excitement. She kept saying how perfect Aruba was, like a dream. The chaperones, mostly parents, maintain a loose oversight, trusting the students in what's considered a safe destination. On May 29th, the final night of the trip, Natalee and her classmates head to Carlos and Charlie's, a legendary nightclub in Oranjestad, known for its pulsating music, neon lights, and raucous atmosphere. Dressed in a sleeveless blue top, a denim skirt, and sandals, Natalee dances with friends, sipping cocktails like many of her peers. The club is packed with tourists and locals, and the energy is electric. Around 11 p.m., Natalee is spotted talking to Joran van der Sloot, a 17-year-old Dutch resident of Aruba, described as tall, blonde, and charismatic, with a reputation for charming female tourists. Joran, a student at the International School of Aruba, is a regular at Carlos and Charlie's, often seen flirting with American visitors. Witnesses say Natalee seems comfortable, laughing and dancing with him. She's also seen with two brothers, Deepak Kalpoe, 21, and Satish Kalpoe, 18, Surinamese locals who work in Aruba's service industry and are friends of Joran's. Around 1:30 a.m. on May 30th, security footage and witness accounts confirm Natalee leaving the club with Joran, Deepak, and Satish in a silver Honda Civic, heading into the night. It's the last confirmed sighting of her. When Natalee doesn't return to the Holiday Inn for the group's 11 a.m. flight on May 30th, her absence raises immediate alarm. Her roommate checks their room. Natalee's packed luggage, passport, wallet, and toiletries are there, untouched. But she's gone. Her friends, worried, alert the chaperones who contact Beth Holloway in Birmingham. Beth, a fiercely protective mother, knows something is wrong. Natalee is meticulous about communication and would never miss her flight. She and Dave, along with Beth's husband, George Twitty, board a private plane to Aruba, arriving at the Holiday Inn by 11 p.m. on May 30th. Beth reports Natalee missing to the Aruba police force, expecting a swift response, but the initial reaction is frustratingly dismissive. Detective Dennis Jacobs, leading the case, suggests Natalee might have run off with a boyfriend or stayed out partying, a theory Beth rejects outright. She organizes volunteers, classmates, hotel staff, and local residents to search Palm Beach, the California lighthouse, and nearby dunes. Beth distributes flyers with Natalee's photo, listing her 5 feet 4 inches height, blonde hair, blue eyes, and offering a $25,000 reward, later raised to $1 million with donations from Mountain Brook and beyond. The Aruba police focus on Joran van der Sloot and the Kalpoe brothers, identified by witnesses as the last people with Natalee. Joran lives in the affluent Noord neighborhood with his parents, Paulus van der Sloot, a lawyer training to be a judge, and Anita, a school teacher. Deepak and Satish, brothers from Suriname, work as a computer technician and delivery driver, respectively, and are known to party with Joran. On June 9, 2005, the trio is arrested on suspicion of kidnapping and murder based on statements from Carlos and Charlie's patrons. They tell police they drove Natalee to the California lighthouse, a remote spot on Aruba's north coast, to look at the stars. Joran claims Natalee was intoxicated, stumbling, and they dropped her off at the Holiday Inn around 2 a.m., where a security guard approached her. Hotel security footage and staff contradict this. No guard saw Natalee, and cameras show no sign of her returning. The trio's stories unravel. Joran later says he left Natalee alone on a beach near the Marriott Resort, while the Kalpoes claim they dropped Joran and Natalee at the lighthouse and drove home. These discrepancies, combined with Joran's evasive demeanor, make them prime suspects. But without physical evidence, the police released them on June 26th. The FBI joins the investigation given Natalee's American citizenship, but their role is limited by Aruban jurisdiction, as Aruba is an autonomous Dutch territory. FBI agents, led by Special Agent Roy van der Schoor, interview Joran, the Kalpoes, and over 50 witnesses, including bartenders, classmates, and taxi drivers. They search the Honda Civic, finding strands of blonde hair consistent with Natalee's but no blood, DNA, or other forensic evidence of a crime. The Van der Sloot home, a spacious villa with a pool, is searched, as are nearby beaches, a landfill, and a salt pond, where a gardener reported seeing Joran on May 30th. Cadaver dogs, metal detectors, and ground-penetrating radar yield no clues. Beth and Dave hire private investigator T.J. Ward, a seasoned detective from Georgia, who canvasses Aruba's bars, casinos, and underworld, probing rumors of drug deals, gambling debts, and trafficking. Tips flood in. A tourist claims to have seen Natalee in a white van with 3 men near Orangestad. A fisherman reports suspicious activity near a reef. A hotel worker says Joran was seen arguing with his father at 4 a.m. on May 30th. None lead to breakthroughs. The case becomes a global media phenomenon, dominating CNN, Fox News, Nancy Grace, and Greta Van Susteren's On the Record. Beth Holloway emerges as a fierce advocate, appearing nightly on cable news, sharing Natalee's story, and criticizing the Aruban police for their slow response and perceived favoritism toward Joran, whose father's connections raise suspicions of a cover-up. Nancy Grace dubs Joran the Aruba predator, amplifying public outrage. The media frenzy puts Aruba's tourism industry, which accounts for 80% of its economy, under strain, as American travelers boycott the island. Aruba's government responds with press conferences, insisting the police are doing all they can, but Beth's relentless advocacy, backed by Mountain Brook's affluent community, keeps the pressure on. The Holloways offer a $1 million reward funded by donations drawing thousands of tips from credible to outlandish, sightings of Natalee in Venezuela, Curacao, even Europe, none verified. Joran van der Sloot's profile fuels suspicion. Described as charming but manipulative, he has a history of lying, gambling at Aruba's casinos, and pursuing female tourists. Classmates at the International School of Aruba say he bragged about hooking up with Americans, and his phone contains texts about Natalee, including one sent on May 30th to a friend. Got lucky last night. The message is ambiguous, and Joran claims it referred to another girl. Police uncover his penchant for late-night parties and occasional drug use, though no evidence ties him to dealing. Paulus van der Sloot, a respected figure in Aruba's legal community, is questioned about his actions on May 30th. He tells police he picked Joran up near the Marriott at 4 a.m., a detail Joran disputes, later saying he walked home alone. Paulus's influence raises questions. A 2005 police report notes he advised Joran not to speak without a lawyer, and some officers later admit feeling pressure to tread lightly around the van der Sloot family. In February 2006, Dutch journalist Peter R. de Vries orchestrates a sting operation, secretly recording Joran telling a friend, Patrick van der Eem, that Natalee died accidentally on a beach after heavy drinking. Joran claims she choked or overdosed, and he disposed of her body in the ocean with help from a friend, Dori Rodriguez, who owned a boat. The confession, aired on Dutch TV's Peter R. de Vries Crime Reporter, shocks the world, viewed by millions and reigniting the case. Aruban prosecutors, however, deem it inadmissible. It lacks corroboration, as no boat or dory is found, and Joran recants, claiming he lied to impress Patrick. He's arrested again in March 2008 but released within days, as Aruba's double jeopardy laws prevent re-prosecution without new evidence. The sting exposes Joran's unreliability, but also highlights the case's central challenge. No body, no crime scene, no forensic proof. Theories about Natalee's fate multiply, each steeped in speculation and frustration. The leading hypothesis is that Joran killed her, intentionally or accidentally, during an encounter gone wrong. His 2008 confession suggests she died on the beach, possibly from alcohol poisoning, a drug overdose, or a physical altercation. He claims he panicked and, with help, dumped her body in the Caribbean Sea, where depths exceed 2,000 feet and currents could carry remains far from Aruba. The ocean's vastness makes recovery nearly impossible, as noted by marine experts in a 2006 National Geographic report on Aruba's coastal waters. Joran's later criminal history bolsters this theory. In 2010, he murders Stephanie Flores, a 21-year-old Peruvian woman, in a Lima hotel room, strangling her after a gambling dispute. Convicted in 2012, he's sentenced to 28 years in Peru's Chalapalca prison. In 2023, extradited to the U.S. on charges of extorting Beth Holloway for $250,000 in exchange for false information about Natalee's body. Joran confesses again, claiming he killed Natalee on a beach after she rejected his sexual advances, striking her with a cinder block and dumping her body in the ocean. The confession, part of a plea deal, results in a 20-year U.S. sentence for extortion, served concurrently with his Peruvian term, but Aruban authorities cannot prosecute due to double jeopardy, and the confession lacks physical evidence to verify. The human trafficking theory gains significant traction. Aruba's tourism-driven economy has ties to organized crime, including sex trafficking networks operating in the Caribbean and Venezuela. Natalee's youth, blonde hair, and American nationality make her a high-value target. In 2006, a Dutch tourist reports seeing a woman resembling Natalee in a Venezuelan brothel, escorted by armed men. The FBI, working with Interpol, raids the location but finds no trace. In 2007, an Aruban casino worker claims to have seen Natalee with two men appearing disoriented, but the lead evaporates when police can't locate the men. Online forums like Reddit's r Unresolved Mysteries and web sleuths cite the Caribbean's trafficking history, noting cases of missing tourists in the region, though no direct evidence links Natalee to such a network. The theory persists due to Aruba's proximity to Venezuela, a known trafficking hub, and reports of lax oversight in Oranjestad's nightlife. A third theory implicates the Kalpoe brothers or Paulus van der Sloot. Deepak and Satish, while less scrutinized than Joran, were with Natalee in the car, and their shifting stories, claiming they left Joran and Natalee at the lighthouse, raised doubts. Phone records show Deepak texted Joran at 3 a.m. on May 30th saying, "You good?" which some interpret as checking on a cover-up, though the Kalpoes insist it was routine. Their alibis, backed by family members, hold up, and no forensic evidence ties them to a crime. Paulus, suspected of helping Joran conceal evidence, is arrested in 2005 for obstruction, but released. A 2006 police report suggests he coached Joran on his alibi, and a witness claims Paulus was seen near a landfill with Joran on May 30th, but the lead is inconclusive. Paulus's death in 2010 from a heart attack ends further questioning, leaving speculation about his role unresolved. A less likely theory suggests Natalee ran away to start a new life, perhaps overwhelmed by the pressure of her upcoming college transition. Her friends and family dismiss this. She was excited about Alabama, devoted to her family, and had no financial means to disappear, as her bank accounts showed no activity post-May 30. Another fringe theory, fueled by online sleuths, posits a drug deal gone wrong, given Joran's rumored cocaine use and Aruba's role as a transshipment point for South American drugs. No evidence ties Natalee to drugs, though a toxicology report from a classmate who drank with her notes alcohol consumption, but no hard drugs. Beth Holloway becomes a powerhouse of advocacy. She writes Loving Natalee, a mother's testament of hope and faith in 2007, detailing her grief and the investigation, with proceeds funding searches. She founds the Natalee Holloway Resource Center, now the International Safe Travels Foundation, supporting families of missing persons and educating teens about travel safety. Beth leads searches in Aruba, hiring dive teams to explore reefs and chartering boats to scan the ocean. She lobbies U.S. politicians, including Alabama Senator Richard Shelby, for sanctions against Aruba's tourism industry, accusing the island of mishandling the case. This sparks diplomatic tension, with Aruba's government issuing apologies and pledging cooperation. Dave Holloway, equally dedicated, publishes Aruba, the tragic untold story of Natalee Holloway in 2006, and funds private searches, including a 2009 expedition using sonar off Aruba's coast, which finds no remains. The $1 million reward, still active as of July 2025, per a Birmingham News report, draws thousands of tips, from credible leads to hoaxes, including a 2010 scam where Joran extorted Beth for $250,000, promising to reveal Natalee's body location, only to flee to Peru. The investigation's challenges are immense. Aruba's small police force, with fewer than 200 officers, lacks the resources for a high-profile case and jurisdictional issues. Aruba's Dutch legal system, the FBI's limited authority, and Venezuela's proximity complicate efforts. The absence of Natalee's body, a crime scene, or forensic evidence like blood or DNA makes prosecution nearly impossible. Over 20 searches, including a 2010 Dutch military sweep of Aruba's caves and a 2017 Texas EquiSearch dive, yield nothing. A 2017 Oxygen series, The Disappearance of Natalee Holloway, follows Dave and TJ Ward as they investigate a tip about bone fragments in an Aruban marsh. DNA testing rules them out as Natalee's, but the series renews public interest, with 10 million viewers. The case reshapes Mountain Brook and Aruba. In Alabama, Natalee's school establishes the Natalee Holloway Scholarship for aspiring doctors, and parents tighten rules for senior trips. Aruba's tourism drops 20% in 2006, per a Caribbean Journal report, prompting stricter club regulations, ID checks, and police training. The case dominates true crime culture, with podcasts like Case File, My Favorite Murder, and Crime Junkie dedicating episodes to Natalee. On X, users post theories about Joran's confession, trafficking networks, and Paulus's role, while TikTok videos analyze grainy Carlos and Charlie's footage. A 2023 tip about a fisherman seeing a body off Aruba's northwest coast prompts a search, but sonar scans find only shipwrecks. Advances in forensic technology like deep-sea drones and genetic genealogy offer hope, but the ocean's depth remains a barrier. The FBI, in 2024, retests the Honda Civic's hair samples using mitochondrial DNA, but results are inconclusive due to degradation. The emotional toll on the Holloways is staggering. Beth, now in her 60s, speaks at colleges, warning about international travel risks, and runs the foundation, which has helped locate 12 missing persons since 2010. Matt, in his 30s, struggles with losing his sister, channeling his grief into advocacy. Dave, remarried but devoted to Natalee's memory, funds searches with book royalties, and leads vigils in Mountain Brook, where hundreds light candles annually. The 2023 confession from Joran brings bittersweet closure. Beth tells Dateline in 2024, "I believe he killed her, but I need her body to heal fully." Without physical evidence, the case remains proofless, haunted by questions. Did Joran act alone? Were the Calpos or Paulus complicit? Is Natalee in the ocean or hidden in a trafficking network? The truth lies somewhere in Aruba's sands or seas, elusive as ever. That's all for the 19th episode of Proofless. Natalee Holloway's disappearance is a heart-wrenching tragedy that exposed the fragility of safety and the strength of a family's love. If you have information, contact the FBI or visit helpfindnatalee.org. Share your thoughts on our website or social media, and join us next time for another journey into the unknown. Until then, keep searching for answers.